How you guys doing? This is very important in reference to histories of jobs where I have worked. And these men had came into the job and tasered me, and then they carried me off and raped me. Now, this is very important in reference to the things that these people had said. Like this fucking government man tried to claim he thought he'd accused me of being a drug addict. I've never done drugs in my entire life. Not never. But this man had tried to claim that he thought I was in his drug rehabilitation program. I've never done drugs. I've never been arrested for drugs. I've never been arrested not even one fucking time in my whole entire life. Ever. First of all, it's illegal to arrest me. They'll tell you why. Because they'd rape me, or they would try to steal my hermaphrodite egg or sperm, or they would sexually assault me, or they would cause injury, or they would try to steal things from my life, or they would try to steal property, and they would try to play their games. They don't even have warrants for what they're doing. Do you understand that? They've never had a warrant, these people. But they're wearing law enforcement uniforms. Some of these people are that have sexually assaulted me and raped me and tried to murder me. All their badge numbers and all their information has to be on record for the court cases. Do you understand that? Now, in reference to the activity of their accusations and their crimes, these people, when they had came to a job where I was working at, meaning they showed up at a job when I was working and they tasered me and knocked me out, we need the news network to go over to the property or the job where I worked at, because this government man had tried to claim that I had a criminal record. I've never had a criminal record. I have royal diplomatic immunity too, since the day I was born, for a lot of reasons. Anybody want to contest that? You know where the courthouse is. You know where the police stations are. I won't have a problem throwing you in prison for the rest of your fucking lives, no matter who the fuck you are that are contesting my royal diplomatic immunity. Because you'd be trying to murder me, or you would be trying to say you were trying to find a loophole. No. I don't get involved in your lives. You're trespassing into mine. And you can get prosecuted, and you can face the death penalty or life in prison. You understand that? I'm the good guy, not the bad guy. And I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates, and you're not, and neither is anybody else. So, in reference to government men or law enforcement fabricating a criminal, suspicious background or history, those government people need to get prosecuted. Oh, somebody said McDonald's said hello or something. Hello, restaurants and businesses and companies and oil industries and energy companies and IRS, how you guys doing? And Treasury, how you doing? Supreme Court, how you doing? United Nations, how you doing? Embassies, how you doing? Many things of importance. But, in reference to, this is very important. Hello, how's everybody doing? And in reference to this government man, we need the name and the badge and the government name of the person underneath the mask, if it was a government agent or a former president that was wearing a fake face that had tasered me or kidnapped me or raped me. We need all those people's names and fingerprints on record. It's illegal for the government to cover up rapes and sexual crimes of politicians and government agents. You guys know that, right? It's unethical. It's a violation of wealth protection laws, too, and land ownership laws. And it's a violation of the Royal Protocol in the media, too. And a lot of other violations. So, in reference to the politician man or the government man or whoever they were that snuck around on jobs and had talked to managers and slandered my character, every job does background checks. So, every job that I've worked at would have known that these people was liars about my background check. You know that, right? Because every company does an employee background check on everything, right? And it's illegal for the government to try to put me on a watch list too. That's attempted murder too. And I'm not going to tolerate that shit either. So whoever tried to put me on a criminal watch list or a suspicious watch list, you're going to need to show up in court. They have the name of the person that did that. And the person has to be ordered into court no matter what. And you face murder charges no matter what. No matter what. And the laws of Eliot Ness say, no matter what, you have to face prosecution. No matter what. And in reference to this man that made up these lies to taser me on jobs, find out if he had connections with satellite controllers. Now, you know, I've never picked a fight with anybody on any job. But this man had tasered me and sexually assaulted me and carried me off to a secluded location where he and several of his men tried to rape me. Every one of them faces the death penalty. Every person conspiring against me faces criminal charges and potentially the electric chair or the death sentence or life in prison. There's going to be a few choices for some of you. I guess one or the other, you know. It's either life in prison or the death penalty. Or something like that. But in reference to the government man that made up all this shit, don't forget they kidnapped me from California. And my mother, Doris Duke, had court cases in Indianapolis against some of these people before, back in the 80s. What was the presidents from the 80s? Some Nazis, weren't they? They were political Nazis or something. Well, you know, my mother and father was Jewish and Catholic, you know, and I'm Jewish and Catholic. And we know Nazis like to hurt Jews, don't they? Nazis like to rape Jewish people, don't they? Nazis like to play with Jewish people's penises and tries to steal their foreskin and all kinds of fucking dirty shit that Germans try to do to Jewish and Catholic people, huh? Those Christians need to get prosecuted for their sex crimes. Whoever these Germans are, they're Middle Eastern Germans or whatever race they are, if they're black Germans or whatever mix. They have to get prosecuted no matter what. So, you know, in reference to this man, all the accusations that he tried to claim on jobs where I was working at, you know, I was on satellite. And this man was trying to accuse me of being out of control. We need that man to describe the information of what he calls out of control. Because first of all, it says don't ever touch me, no matter what. But there's not been any fights physically with me, with any coworker either, or any customer at any job that I worked at. You know, it's always been government people sneaking up into the job and tasering me, and obviously find out if there was any employees conspiring with these government people that fabricated stories against me when they had tasered me and raped me on jobs. Every man gets prosecuted that's involved. That's the facts of law. And that's the facts of law of Eliot Ness. And royal law, too. Somebody wants you to understand that, government man. And these government people know that my parents was Jewish and Catholic. My parents even owned churches in America, too, didn't they? And my father even had a church building company, didn't he? He built churches, Catholic churches and Jewish synagogues or something. No, look it up. Point of information. This government man was trying to call me crazy and violent and out of control when they kidnapped me or something. We need a detailed information. Because no coworker has ever seen me get violent or crazy or... Yeah, I just tell people to leave me the fuck alone. Stay away from me. Don't touch me, you know. So look up the information. We need information, detailed information about what this man said. And most of the jobs where I worked, they usually had audio security or video security. And they'd have it on video when this man tasered me and knocked me out. And how many men there was and how many of them raped me. They must get prosecuted no matter what. And they need the information for the courts, the videotapes, the audio recordings of what this man said when he tasered me and raped me. The man faces the death penalty.